Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap, here today with Sue Melchert from outside Chicago. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
So grateful to have you here and share a little bit about your journey into business analysis this year and your participation in the Circle of Success. You've been an amazing presence um, and yeah, just amazing, vibrant part of our community. And so I'm excited to hear a little bit more about your story personally as well. So maybe just to get us started, tell us a little bit about where you were towards the beginning of this year when you decided to join the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
January 2019, I felt like I wanted to shift away from just being a systems analyst into being more of a people-oriented business analyst. So that was my impetus. I don't know how I came across Circle of Success, but I know that I've been on your mailing list. So I constantly got the reminders, do this, do that. And finally, I decided, well, let me jump into this because it seemed like it would be a good platform for me to get involved and hear other business analysts. So I clicked on the link and it took me to what was called Circle of Success. And I had to use Slack to do it. So I was familiar with Slack. So I signed up right away. And it was as though I walked into a room with a number of business analysts. It was great. It was the people that I wanted to talk to. So I was there. And they didn't know my background. They didn't know who I was. But they knew me as a business analyst. So the presumption was I was a colleague. And that felt really good. So as I started to get more involved with Circle of Success, because I was just in the trial, I decided to go ahead and purchase the program for the year. So that's how I got started.
Oh, that's awesome. And I love that, like, they saw me as a colleague, right? Like how important that can be to say to ourselves, like, I'm a business analyst, I'm part of this community of business analysts, and how that just changes your self-perception a bit too. Yeah. One of the things I've seen you say in the group, like, oh, that gives me the insight of like what that's like, right? Or the lingo, you like the insider lingo. Yeah. Do you have something to share around that, like lingo that's come up or how that's affected you?
Well, my takeaway from reading all the wins every night is people share their day and what they feel they've learned. So I get a lessons learned synopsis every day. And what a treat. Just the other day, someone was talking about a sprint and using the terminology that I didn't really know like a few months ago, but I could visualize what it is that she was trying to explain. So for me, that was a big help because now as I go into my interviews, I can whip out the terminology and sound like I know what I'm talking about. At least I've got a visual of what the process is. So that has helped me. It really has. And my contribution to the group, I try and feed back positive comments because it's so important. And, people are just pouring their hearts out, explaining the good and the bad, and some of it's tough to read. What I have learned from that is sometimes we're all in this together. That what I've experienced, which I thought was just worst case scenario, someone else has also experienced it. And this may be part of the job. So do I need to develop a thicker skin? Maybe. But it also, listening to other people's stories gave me insights as to what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, how to resolve situations, and when may be the best time to walk away.
That's a really good point because there has been, there's obviously been a lot of successes and a focus on wins and like we do that, but there has been a decent amount of heartbreak as well. And that's part of the culture I wanted to create. And this is our first year, right, where we're still like, I'm figuring it out with everyone, but like we wanted people to be able to show up in the vulnerability and where the challenges are happening and have a safe space to get support around those challenges. And I think, I've heard this a few times, like that feeling of like, well, I'm not alone has come up a few times, right? Like I thought I was the only one who had this crazy, ridiculous thing happen to me. And like, I guess it makes you feel a little bit like it's not my fault if like other people that I respect and that I can see like they have their stuff together and it happened to them too, right? So it's been an unexpected, but I feel like really valuable component of the community, being able to share some of that, just the more challenging aspects of what it takes to do this. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. And I know like, what's driving you to go from more of a systems analyst role to a business analyst role? Like, what do you see being in that for you?
I know I'm good with people. I've got good people skills. When I work in a team, I encourage everyone to speak up. I'm comfortable delegating tasks that I can do in order to build someone else's skill set. All the technical positions that I've had in the past, I tend to do a lot of training, technical training, because I want people to learn. I want people to be able to use the tools they have. My last position as a systems analyst was more enterprise because it was working for a state job. And I was hired as a systems analyst, so my role was pretty well defined, but I always felt the need to go above and beyond. And sometimes that got me in trouble because I was being too nice or helping people all the time when I just needed to stay on my task. So it felt like I really needed to shift into more of a people role, being able to interview stakeholders. I feel comfortable talking to various levels in the organization. My last job, I got in trouble for treating an upper management person as a colleague. So I wasn't displaying the deference that I needed to display. But that's how I do treat people. They're important to the organization, regardless of what level they're at. So I think of them as colleagues. And the role that I had as a as a systems analyst was more programming related as compared to people related. So that's, after a couple of years in that role, I decided, I really enjoy the technical part. I can talk the talk, but I wanted to be more involved with talking to people. Why do you want changes? What are the benefits to you to change? Or what motivates you to change? And how can we actually make it so? So that's what got me more involved with being a business analyst. And I have a skill set that I can apply because I have a business degree, so I understand finance. I feel very comfortable with finance. Marketing changes all the time, but even business operations. So I feel comfortable with the mechanics of business, and then being able to talk to the business owners. I feel comfortable doing that and asking them questions. And so I thought a business analyst role would be a better fit for my skill set or my gifts.
Yes, your gifts, exactly. And I love that you're being called towards it for the people side and but also like the things that got you in trouble, right? Like you said that because our roles, like when we're doing our best work, that should never be like the stuff that gets us in trouble, right? Like,
good point.
And so it's kind of a good sign that the role that you were in or the box that you were in was maybe a bit constrained for what your true gifts are. So yeah. What's your journey been like this year, starting to pursue that next step?
A lot of research. Kind of looking at a data analyst versus a business analyst, or a systems analyst versus a business analyst, or what is a business systems analyst, IT analyst. There's so many different titles for this skill set. And I didn't know I was a business analyst until a recruiter mentioned it back in, like, I think it was 1999. Showed her my resume. She brought me into the office and we're talking. She said, "Oh, you're a business analyst." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm also good at this and this and this, and I like to be a technical trainer, and I have a business degree." So I didn't understand what she was trying to tell me. But having listened to you and actually doing some research and listening to everybody else, the business analyst role for me is a better fit. And it only took, how many years to figure this out? So
But you've been
20
kind of
years
doing it all
later,
along, right? I mean, you've
yeah,
been doing this for small businesses and for,
right.
yeah. So you could also
So
say, I've been a business analyst for 20 years. You could reframe things that way.
yeah, because everybody has a different level of engagement.
Yeah.
If it's a business analyst, even for a small business, it's still the same process. You still got to go through it. You still have everything like the lessons learned. I took a lot of project management classes. So that dovetails really nicely with business analysis, because sometimes you wear both hats for small projects. And I've done a lot of that at the small business level. Even when I was working for a medium-sized business, I was brought in as a business analyst for the financial side. And I loved that because I love accounting, and I was able to contribute. I knew the lingo, the chart of accounts, the numbering system. It felt really good to bring that skill set to the table under the title of business analyst financial.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I have been doing it. I just didn't know what it was called, and now I do.
Awesome. Well, so one final quick question for you, or actually there'll be two final quick questions, but you've been really generous with your time. But when you think about the year that you've had with Circle of Success, do any of the teachings in particular stand out, like that you've benefited from in a particular way, and how those have impacted you?
Teachings. The monthly webinars have been very helpful.
Yeah.
Going from jaded to motivated, very, very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
The negotiation one where we had a guest speaker, she was great. I've taken negotiation classes before, and this webinar really helped me to, with the dialogue. It helped me with phrasing and how to kind of set up the negotiation. That was very helpful. I
Right.
forgot
You
her name,
applied
but
that one like right away, right? And
yep,
got like a immediate win, right?
yep. And
Yeah.
it felt good to be able to apply the skill you just saw.
Yeah.
The Einstein time was interesting. And so I had to figure that out and look it up. And well, how did Einstein come up with this idea? And then I also read people were referencing Einstein time in their little wins for the day. So I decided, well, I got to figure this out, and how can I apply it? So it's almost like, people say, put it in the universe and do the expectation and you'll get what you expect. So it's all that same premise. If
Yeah.
you have a game plan, you proceed with your game plan, and
Yeah.
time will present itself. And as long as you're ready, just like in marketing, it's a lot of preparation, and when the moment hits, you're there.
Well, right. We were talking
Yeah.
just yesterday in our group call about like all the work that might happen, but then it's the snap, right? It's like actually a lot of times things are that quick, right?
Yeah.
And like, yes, sometimes you need the preparation and the planning and all of that, but sometimes it really is just a switch that flips, and then you're like, wait, the world's different. And that can create space or release a lot of space to work on the things that
Yeah.
matter most. Yeah. So
It's
that's really
surprising what you can get done in just a couple of minutes.
Right.
I've decided to focus more on my tasks. So every morning I get up, I do my kind of like meditative with the cup of coffee, and then I decide, all right, what are my goals for the day? What do I have left over from the day before? So I'm prepared. And if I have a couple of minutes free, then I go right back to my task list because I have an idea of what I want to do.
Yeah.
I also read someone else's opinion of task lists, and their suggestion was put it on a calendar. That just having a task list isn't enough. You have to commit to the time. And that's so true. And so when I talk to people on any kind of project, we do the same thing. If there's a discussion on what needs to be done, the next question is when.
Mm-hmm.
And I even do that with my family too.
Yeah. I was just listening to a teaching about that, which is something I think I want to talk about in the circle in 2020, is how important your calendar is, and scheduling in even the important personal stuff, which feels impersonal, that you have to schedule it in, but it actually is one of the most loving things that you can do, by making, because once it's in your calendar, you're saying it's a priority, right? And it's the same thing with, it's philosophically the same thing with your task list, but you're really putting the time, you're allocating the time to it. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. It's like date night. You have to plan a date night.
Yes, you do. We do. All right. So last question. Thank you so much for sharing. What does success look like to you?
I see myself getting into a business analyst role, and from there gathering my hours so I can pursue getting the certification.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been able to get certification for project manager because I just wasn't in an environment that presented enough hours. So this particular certification, there's fewer hours that I'll need, but I also need to be in a project, clocking the hours, having the whole backup for that. So that's like my year goal. I'm pretty sure I can pop it off in a year, but once I get into that environment, that's where the hours come in.
Right. And which certification are you considering?
Just the regular business analyst.
Gotcha.
What is it? CBAP?
Right. Yep.
The practitioner.
Yep.
So a 3-year goal. Oh yeah, I also want to do ITIL because I'm seeing a lot of people that are also business analysts have that ITIL background, the IT, more of an overall familiarity.
Yep.
And I think it's up to 4 now, ITIL 4. One of the women in the group, she's got her ITIL, so if she's got it, I want to get it.
This is not a competition.
Well, I admire her.
Yeah.
So let's put it that way.
Yeah, awesome.
She's my secret mentor. She doesn't know it, but and that's really what I wanted. That's why I joined, because I wanted to see others and what are they doing. So this whole circle of success for me has been a mentoring program that I've certainly enjoyed, and it has helped.
Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I'm excited to see where you go in your business analyst career. And it's been a real honor to have you as part of our founding members of our program this year, and to be able to share a snapshot of what's been going on with the rest of the world too. So thank you so much, Sue.
My pleasure.